Hey, just a quick video to illustrate the issues with the Parker Fly. I brought it to a shop today just because I knew it hadn't been played in a while. And I also, because I wasn't familiar with the electronics, this is my first Fly, so I wanted to make sure there wasn't any issues I was overlooking. So the one we already knew about is the input jack. Apparently it's a common problem with these, so it just falls out. So like while you're playing, the cord will just fall out of the guitar. So sometimes if it's an exposed jack, you can go in there and bend the pins and it'll hold again, but in this case it's fully enclosed, so the only option is to replace it, and it's got the weird ribbon cable. And I bought, this is the only recommended replacement I could find. I bought that off eBay, I think it was like 20 bucks. But you have to, it's too long. So you have to grind it down. And then something else has to be ground down, and I think a ground lug or something like that in order for it to fit. So if it wasn't such a fragile guitar, electronics-wise, I would probably try to do it myself, but it's above my head. Opening up this jack to see what they're talking about with the ground pin. Oh, I see. It's got a really long, that's easy enough to do. Taking that off would be easy enough to do. I could do that with a tin snips. Or even a dikes. But grinding down the jack is not something I'm comfortable doing. Anyhow, so that's the easier of the two. And then the other thing that I wasn't aware of until I went in today. So this is apparently volume and tone for the Paizo. Let's see what we have. There's master. So there's the Paizo. And I don't know if you can see on the camera, but both of these are turning together. They're not turning separately. So the guy at the shop took them off, and it turns out this is bent. So that's why when the two knobs are on there. However, what I was noticing is, even without the knobs on there, and I gotta figure out how I can do this, the bottom one doesn't do anything. It's supposed to be a tone for the Paizo, but it doesn't do anything. So basically, assuming that pot is bad, and I was gonna try, if it worked, I was just gonna try to bend the shaft back. That's a little bent. I don't know if you can even see in the camera that it's bent. You can probably see, because now it's leaning this way, now it's leaning that way. This way again. So it was just a matter if it was bent and so the two were catching, I was going to try to get a pliers and bend it back. But the bottom one isn't even doing anything. So my guess would be that the guitar probably took a hit on this pot. So I've shopped around and haven't been able to find anyone with that pot. There's a seller on Reverb that has a ton of Parker parts, and I emailed them to ask if they have it, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. This all just happened this afternoon anyways. Excuse me. And what else? There's a seller. Then there's a seller in the Parker group that is linked as being an authorized service center. So I emailed both of those guys. No one's gotten back to me yet to see if anybody has that pot. I have not looked inside to see how easy it is to replace and to see if it'd be something I'd be willing to do myself versus having to put it in the shop. I suppose if I'm having to put it in the shop for this, it'd be easier to do both at once. I hate putting stuff in the shop. I'd rather do it myself, but I've read, I guess I should say, so many horror stories about those ribbon cables just ripping when people try to solder them. And so I'd be really nervous to do it myself. I'm going to take the back off the guitar and look at that pot from the other side. And if it's interesting, or if there's anything new that I've learned, I'll do another video.